Out on seeing Hamilton when it was in town in January, you're going to get a second chance to take your shot. Hamilton is coming back. The Cultural Trust revealed its lineup of shows for the 2019-2020 PNC Broadway and Pittsburgh season. Among the other hits coming our way, Mean Girls and The Lion King. And we have other theater news and reviews today with Post-Gazette senior theater critic Chris Rawson. Chris, we want to start with the winners of the August Wilson monologue competition.
That's right. We picked three. I was one of the judges. Jay Chapman is the winner. Bomani Howes and Jordan Price came in second and third. The two winners go to New York, and they compete with 12 other cities doing the August Wilson monologues. And I think Jay Chapman is a real contender. He did a scene from Jitney that I could have imagined seeing in many a professional production.
Now, you were a local judge. Will you go on to help judging later?
No, because we would favor our local city.
I guess that would be true, wouldn't it?
They have a national group. They're at the August Wilson Theater on Broadway.
But let's dig into some of your reviews. The Roommate.
The Roommate is at City Theater, and it's a country mouse, city mouse kind of thing where, you know, there's a contrast between the sophisticate and the naive. It's kind of a reverse of the usual because the city mouse, who's a sort of middle-aged hippie, comes to the country mouse in Iowa, where she doesn't do much of anything but go to her book group. And there's a culture clash, of course. And every time someone says Iowa, they go, you know, they roll their eyes. Laughs. It's really kind of a limp comedy, I have to say, but it is wonderfully produced, acted by Laurie Klatcher and Tamara Tooney, where they squeeze every laugh they can through wonderful timing. And you know, we need a comedy at this time of the year and in this time of our national drama, I think.
The Roommate, that reminds me of like every dorm room across the country.
Yeah, where two people are thrown
together in a room.
And sometimes it's tragedy and sometimes it's comedy.
And sometimes you make lifelong friends. Well, let's talk about Bare Bones Theater and The Legend of Georgia McBride.
Now, this is a real comedy. This is a laugh-out-loud comedy about three drag queens, and it starts with a guy who's an Elvis impersonator who's performing at this kind of seedy bar in the Florida Panhandle, and he's been replaced suddenly by a couple of drag queens, except one of them doesn't show up, so he gets pressed into service. He has to become a drag queen, and then the original drag queen comes back, so there's a contest among the three of them. It is wonderful and wonderfully acted by Andrew Schwackhammer and Joshua Potter and Justin Lonesome, with David Conrad actually playing the owner of the bar. It's at this wonderful little theater in Braddock, Bare Bones, Black Box Theater. People have to get used to going out of the city. You know, it's 10 or 15 minutes outside the city, right by Superior Motors, that restaurant there. They only have 1 week to go, and a matter of fact, you'll be lucky to get a ticket.
We had the actors on here with us, and it sounds like an incredible show. It really does.
It is funny.
Okay, so let's talk about Mumburger.
Mumburger is not funny. Mumburger is a play about a father and a daughter, and the mother-wife has just died, and the father and daughter are trying to come to terms with that, with their grief, with their own difficult relationship between, and suddenly the mother-wife reemerges in a way. She sent them a packet of hamburgers. They were all vegans. There's a real challenge. What are we going to do with this stuff? And actually, it's more complicated than that. I don't want to give it away. But what's wonderful is that this stressful relationship between these two is acted out physically, so that when one of them wants to talk to the other's running away, they're going around, or they're swaying back and forth in unison, or they're grappling. It's actors working out the subtext of their emotions. The emotions are intense, wonderfully done by Jesse Goodman and Ken Bolden, two actors really at the peak of their form. And it's at Off the Wall Theater, which is in the other direction from Braddock, 15 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh and Carnegie. Not hard to get to. Once again, Pittsburghers have to be willing to just drive a little bit.
I was going to ask you where that is because I had never heard of Off the Wall, so I'm glad that you brought that up.
My fault for not bringing it up often enough.
So, prime stage in The Time of the Butterflies.
Time of the Butterflies. The Butterflies are four sisters who lived under the Trujillo regime in the Dominican Republic, one of those Latin American despots like Batista in Cuba. This is back in the 50s, 40s and 50s. We see them growing up. very vivacious, and then gradually they get involved in the resistance to the dictator, and they get killed in 1960, 3 of the 4. It's a famous real story, been turned into a play, wonderfully acted by 4 young women who managed to play the girls when they're very young and also as they get older. It's a play really aimed at middle school and high school kids, but it's for everybody at the New Hazlitt Theater on the North Side.
We had Ted Pepis on yesterday talking about A Doll's House Part 2, and this just started production late last week.
Right, it's in previews now. I'm going to review it, and I don't get to see it till this weekend. It's an extension of The Doll's House, that famous play by Ibsen. I saw it on Broadway last year. Real good play. Looking forward to it a lot.
And at Point Park, Sunday in the Park with George.
And the thing that's wonderful about this is the first time that they're going to use the big theater in the new Pittsburgh Playhouse downtown. And what a great play to do it for Sondheim.
Well, you know, we love talking about summertime, and you have a festival that you wanted to talk about.
Oh, right. I take 2 tours northward in the summer. In July, I take a group, and we go up to the Shaw Festival and the Stratford Festival in Canada. We do 2 plays in each place, so we see 2 nights in each place, and we see 6 plays. And then in September, I take a trip just to the Shore Festival for 3 days, and we see a lot of theater there. Wonderful trips. I've been doing it for 35 years. I kind of know my way around. Some of the people come back every year, and every year we have room for new people.
That's great. And I feel like there's probably some really good discussion before and after each one.
Yeah, and arguments.
Arguments.
Just what you want with theater.
Well, because it leaves a different impression on all of us, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly. And the 2 towns, Stratford and Niagara-on-the-Lake, are themselves a lot of fun, and the hotels, and the company of the other people.
And so how can people sign up if they want to get in on these tours?
They call the number, which I hope has been shown on the screen. These are sponsored by the Post-Gazette.
Okay.
And Gulliver's Travels is the travel agency that we deal with. And people sign up, and it's in the order in which people sign up. We take about 25 people on each trip.
Sounds lovely, and you can call Gulliver's Travel to sign up. So thank you so much,
Thanks,
Chris Rawson, Senior Theater Critic for the Post-Gazette. Thank you as always.